Broken heart baby face screaming in fear, did you see my post? It was meant for you, red heart. I don't know if you scrolled past it. I don't know if you stopped for a second, looked at it, smiled, and then kept moving. I don't know if you pretended not to notice because seeing my words still affects you. But I know one thing. That post was written for you. Not for everyone. Not for strangers. Not for people who only know fragments of my story. It was for the person who once understood my silence better than anyone else. It was for the person whose name still appears in my thoughts when I wake up unexpectedly in the middle of the night. It was for you. Maybe you thought it was just another quote. Maybe you assumed I copied it from somewhere. Maybe you believed I had already forgotten everything and moved on with my life. But every sentence carried memories, every word carried emotions I could never say directly, and every line was hiding the truth I still don't know how to explain. I miss talking to you, not because I don't have other people around me, not because I'm lonely every second of the day, but because conversations with everyone else feel incomplete. Nobody interrupts me the way you used to. Nobody laughs at the same stupid things. Nobody understands the meaning behind my random messages. Nobody knows when I'm pretending to be okay. You always knew. You noticed changes in my voice. You noticed when I replied too quickly. You noticed when I disappeared. You noticed when I was hurting even though I kept saying I was fine. And maybe that's why losing you never felt normal. People say time heals everything. People say memories fade. People say eventually someone else comes along and changes your life. Maybe that's true. Maybe one day I will wake up and think about something completely different. Maybe one day your name won't make my heart skip a beat. Maybe one day I'll hear our favorite song and simply enjoy the music. But today isn't that day. Today I still remember. I remember the excitement of receiving your messages. I remember waiting for your reply even when I knew you were busy. I remember checking my phone every few minutes. I remember smiling for no reason because I knew you would eventually text back. Do you remember those days? Do you remember staying awake longer than we should have? Do you remember saying goodnight 3 times and then continuing the conversation for another hour? Do you remember sharing dreams that seemed possible because we believed in each other? I do. I remember all of it. And that's why I wrote that post, because some feelings don't disappear, they simply become quieter. They hide behind jokes, they hide behind busy schedules, they hide behind pictures where we smile, they hide behind captions that seem positive. But they remain. Sometimes I wonder if you ever think about me. Not every day, not every hour, just once in a while. Maybe when you pass a place we used to talk about, maybe when you hear a phrase I always used, maybe when someone mentions my name unexpectedly, maybe when you feel nostalgic for a version of yourself that only existed when we were close. Do you ever pause? Do you ever wonder how I'm doing? Do you ever open our old messages? Do you ever reread conversations and realize we once meant so much to each other? Or have you truly moved forward? Have you reached a point where I became just another chapter, just another person who appeared briefly and then disappeared? I honestly don't know, and perhaps I never will, because distance changes people, silence changes people, Pride changes people, time changes people. Sometimes two hearts can care deeply about each other and still drift apart, not because love vanished, not because affection died, but because life became complicated, misunderstandings grew, expectations remained unspoken, apologies arrived too late. And eventually both people became strangers carrying memories nobody else understands. That's the saddest kind of goodbye, the goodbye that is never spoken, the goodbye that happens gradually, one missed message, one delayed reply, one cancelled plan, one misunderstanding. One argument, one moment where neither person fights hard enough to stay, and suddenly months pass, then years, and all that remains are photographs, screenshots, playlists, and unanswered questions. I don't blame you. I don't blame myself either. I think we were simply human. Two imperfect people trying to navigate emotions we weren't fully prepared for. We made mistakes. We misunderstood intentions. We expected mind reading instead of communication. We assumed the other person knew what we felt, and assumptions can destroy even the strongest connections. Still, there are moments when I wish things had happened differently. I wish I had spoken more honestly. I wish I had listened more carefully. I wish I had expressed appreciation more often. I wish I had hugged you longer. I wish I had said thank you. I wish I had said stay. And maybe you have your own list of wishes too. Maybe there are things you wish you could change. Maybe there are words you never said. Maybe there are messages you typed and deleted. Maybe there are nights when you stare at the ceiling and think about what could have been. Or maybe I'm the only one carrying these thoughts. Maybe I'm the only one who still notices the emptiness left behind. If that's true, then I accept it, because caring about someone isn't embarrassing, missing someone isn't weakness, loving someone sincerely is never a mistake. Even if the ending hurts, even if the memories become painful, even if the future doesn't include them, the heart remembers people who made it feel alive, and you did that. You changed ordinary days into special ones. You made waiting exciting. You made simple conversations unforgettable. You made me believe that genuine connection still exists in a world full of temporary interactions. And for that, I will always be grateful. So yes, that post was for you. It was my quiet way of saying I remember, I appreciate what we shared, I cherish the beautiful moments, and despite everything that happened, a small part of me still hopes you saw those words, because maybe, just maybe, you read them, you recognized yourself between the lines, you smiled, and for a brief moment, you remembered me too.